What's up? It's your boy Raven the Gemini here, coming at you with another video. So after our 1.4.0 patch, we have to do a tier list for these nerfs and these buffs that we have gotten. So let's get right into it, no wasting time. The Sledgehammer. I think everyone can agree the Sledgehammer is nice on damage. It comes in handy when you have to destroy buildings, but other than that, it is a worse nightmare for heavies. So for that, I am going to put in the F tier. Next up, we have the sword, one of everyone's favorite weapons. Everyone loves the sword. You cannot love the sword. A lot of people do use it for the light class, but unfortunately, for the light class, depending on how you use it, it can be detrimental or it can be a lifesaver. But it is a lot better than the sledgehammer when you are using a melee, so I will put it into D class. Next up, we're gonna be looking at the dagger. So the dagger is nice, especially when you stab someone in the back. It's pretty nice, but you have to get those cheeky, sneaky kills for it to be really effective, or you're going to get ripped with a dagger. Especially with a heavy and a medium there, it's not gonna be too useful. But the dagger is still pretty nice. I will put in the D tier with the sword. Next up, we have the throwing knives, one of every light's favorite weapons. A lot of lights use this. They love they love these throwing knives. So for the throwing knives, they are a lot faster in fire rate than the sword, the sledgehammer, the dagger. You can constantly throw them. It does decent damage. So personally, I feel that it is a C tier weapon. Next up, looking at this list, we have the Riot Shield. So the Riot Shield is pretty decent. They did nerf it. I guess it was deflecting bullets when you were interacting with anything, which is pretty cool, but they had to patch that. So seeing how it can't block bullets when you're interacting, and it's really only useful for probably room confrontations, I'm going to have to put into. I'll leave it in D. I'll leave it into D. I can't. I gotta put it into F. I think it has really no use case or no really nice scenarios unless it's like certain times. So I would say the Riot Shield has to stay in the F tier. All right, looking at our guns now, we have the V9S, the Silence Pistol. So the Silence Pistol is amazing. The damage is okay with it. It's not too bad. It's not amazing. The fire rate is decent. I would say it's about 50-50. The range is okay. It's not too good, but it's not too bad. And the accuracy on it is decent. The clip size, 24 rounds, and not too fast to reload. I think this is definitely a B tier weapon for anyone that's running the uh, medium class form. Next up, we have the AKM. So the AKM is, let's just be honest, it's a god gun, S tier 100%. Everything's pretty decent on it, and they fixed the recoil, so it should be even better. So I definitely am putting the AKM in S tier, no question. Next up, we have the flamethrower. So the flamethrower, it has decent damage. It has a pretty good fire rate. Its range makes it really, really poor though, because you have to be body to body to really use it, and the accuracy is okay. It's 50-50. For the flamethrower, I personally think that it belongs in the D tier just because there's not too many ways that you can utilize it unless you're right there in the room with them. That's next up, we have the SA-12-16. So this is my personal favorite. This is the shotgun that I use every day by playing a heavy main. This shotgun eats. The damage is amazing. The fire rate is okay. The range is okay. It's decent range. I shoot pretty good, but the damage on the range is not too good. So up close is its best friend, and the accuracy is okay. But when you use it in the game, you definitely can tell that it has prime accuracy when you have to hip fire, or even if you're aiming down sights. So I personally have to, and I think a lot of people agree, it's S tier. Next up, we have the SH 1900. We got a lot of people's favorite shotgun in the game. It is a good one. It does nice damage to mediums, crazy damage to lights, and it even does impressive damage to heavies. The magazine on it makes it a tough gun with only 2 bullets. The damage is almost one of the highest damages in the game, though. But the fire rate, which is very poor, the range, which is very poor, and the accuracy, which is so-so, makes it a really tough gun. But seeing how you have to use it in certain scenarios, I would definitely put it in the B tier. Next up, we have the SR-84. We have the sniper. That's right, let me find the sniper. So, the SR-84, it has nice damage. The fire rate is very poor, could be better. The range on it is impressive, accuracy impressive. This gun definitely takes off heads. I would say raise the damage a little more, and it would be crazy S tier, but it's definitely an A tier weapon if you're a sniper on this game. Next up, we have the R357. That's right, we have the revolver. The R357 is crazy. It has some good damage. It has an okay fire rate. It's not too good. The range on it is impressive, and the accuracy on it is impressive for being a revolver. A 6 clip size, and it has about a 2-second reload speed, so not too bad, but not too good. It definitely takes off heads. I would definitely say it's a B tier weapon, just seeing how it doesn't have that fire rate that would make it that A tier weapon. Next up, we have the Model 1887. So the Model 1887 is an amazing shotgun. Just like 1887, it is like that old school style shotgun. What an amazing clip! Six shot clip, does amazing damage. It is super low on the fire rate. The range is okay, and the accuracy is pretty okay. But it is a ripper, but I think a ripper for the B tier personally. I think that is a B tier weapon 100%. I don't think that um, it's really matching up with the kunais, or sorry, the thrown knives. I think this gun would definitely rip anyone with the thrown knife. Next up, we have the MGL 32. So the grenade launcher. I personally think this is one of the worst heavy weapons in the game, and that is coming from someone who loves grenade launchers. I love throwing nades, I love using nades, everything like that. But this has no use unless you're trying to destroy a building. So we have to put it into F tier, 100% F tier. Lewis gun. So the Lewis gun, everyone's one of everyone's favorite guns for being a heavy. Um, has amazing damage. Um, it does a pretty good fire rate. The range is pretty nice on it. The accuracy is it's okay. It's tough at times depending on how far you are, depending on where you're aiming. But the magazine size of 47 is nice. The only problem with this gun is the 3.5-second reload time, which is in this game that is a while. So it would be an A tier if the reload and the accuracy was a little better, but it is 100% a B tier weapon against all of these guns. 100%. Next up, we have the M11. So we have the M11 right here. The M11 is a decent gun. I've seen it used multiple times in different ways. The damage is okay on it. The fire rate is one of the highest fire rates in the game, 100%. The range on it is not the best, but it is okay. And the accuracy on it is decent. It's not too bad. This gun is nice. I would definitely put it into B tier. Um, I would probably say just like a sight on it and probably better accuracy would make it even that top A gun. but for right now, it's definitely a B tier gun. Next up, we have the F car. So the F car is one of everyone's favorite guns. It where do I start? It's amazing. 20 round clip. It's not too much, but it's definitely needed when you're in those fights, and it definitely you really don't need too many more bullets than that if you are aiming pretty good. And it has one of the best sights in the game. The damage is okay. The range is okay. Um, sorry, the range is decent. The fire rate is okay, and the accuracy is pretty decent. So for the F car, regardless of all of that, I have to put it up here in the A tier, 100%. The F car is an A tier weapon. Some people might disagree and say that it's S tier, but personally, I think that it's decent, especially up against these weapons right here. But I think going up against the AKM or the shotgun, you're going to get taken out uh, pretty nicely. Uh, so I would definitely put that in A tier and leave it there. Next up, we are going to go with the M60. So the big boy right here, the M60. The M60 is pretty decent. It's not a bad gun at all. Um, First dropping it was a little weird. It's a little weird to use, not gonna lie, but it's decent now. So the damage is okay. The fire rate on it is pretty decent. The range on it is okay. It's not too bad. And the accuracy on it is it's okay. Um, and there's not really like the best sight. It's more of like a square in the middle sight, so it's kind of blocking your view just a little bit. But it does have a 70 round magazine, so a nice round magazine to defend. But I have to put it in with the B tier, and I have to raise the Lewis gun to the A tier because the Lewis gun trumps the M60 100%. So if you're thinking about using M60, I would prefer the Lewis gun over the M60. No question. Next up, we have the CL40. So if you're coming from Call of Duty, or even if you're coming from Overwatch playing Junkrat, this gun right here is one of the best type of guns you can use in a game like this, especially when you have to destroy, when you have to hit from afar. Um, it just like hits on contact, blows up everything. Um, it's a nice shot. It's just decent overall. It's a really good gun. The damage on it is impressive. The fire rate on it is pretty poor. It doesn't have the best fire rate. The range on it is decent, and the accuracy on it is pretty poor, depending on how you aim the grenade launcher. If you're pretty good at um, seeing where someone's gonna go, shooting there, and hitting them with it, then I would say this is for you 100%. Um, and it has about a mag of 4, so not too bad, um, but not too good. So I definitely would say it's a C tier weapon, but still a decent weapon. The LH1. So the LH1, it is a pretty fun gun to use if you're playing the finals. 15 round mag, damage is decent, fire rate is okay. The range on it is pretty impressive, and the accuracy on it is decent. It's not too bad. It's not the best gun, but it's definitely not the worst gun. It for sure belongs in B tier, 100%. And now that I'm looking at this, I think I'm gonna have to raise the M11 into A tier. I think I'm gonna have to, yeah. Just looking at this, the M11, I definitely feel like it would shred anyone. Even with the sorry, even with the M60, the M11, it's gonna be kind of hard to because the M60 is just so hard to shoot, especially when you're a light zooming around everywhere. Yeah, M11 definitely A tier. Looking at this tier list, last but not least, family, the XP54. So it has an okay damage. It's not the best. It's not the worst. The fire rate, one of the best in the game. The range, it's okay, and the accuracy is pretty decent with a 30 round mag. and it's 2.7-second reload speed. This gun is definitely A tier potential. If you do not think any of these are A tier, S tier, B tier, or if you don't agree with anything that I put up here today, leave a comment in the video. Let me know what your opinions and what you think might be S tier, A tier, B tier, C, D, and F tier. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please leave a like. Make sure you subscribe. Raven out.